This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and I know I said I wasn't going to pick up this figure, but I found him in the wild, so that kind of automatically makes me decide to pick it up, which admittedly is kind of a stupid way to look at things, but I am more likely to pick up stuff I don't intend to if I see it in person, you know what I mean? This is the third wave LionO, which is just a repaint of our first wave LionO in somewhat different colors. I believe this is supposed to be the toy coloring instead of the animation coloring. We turn the box around, and we do have new artwork back there of LionO. LionO, Lord of the ThunderCats, battles back the ancient forces of evil from Third Earth to Third Eternia. LionO, Lord of the ThunderCats, sheathe Sword of Omens onto back. As part of this wave, we have LionO, Lord of the ThunderCats, Panther Man, Savage Catman, and Panthro, the heroic Thundarian Battlemaster. Honestly, having found these guys in the store, the Panthro actually does look pretty cool. And that one I did pre-order, as well as Panther Man, but neither one of those has come in. Well, let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? We got the same little white piece of paper that we got with the previous release of LionO to show us what parts come off and on. And look at the dents in his head there for the hairpiece. I don't remember those being in the other one, but they probably were, because I don't imagine that Mattel would have like redone that. I will say this, I think the gold armor on him actually does look pretty nice, but other than that, let's just go over the articulation real quick with him in his armor. We've done this before, so head, ball joint moves around, all over the place. Arm hinges up and down, spins around. He punched himself in the face right there. Elbow, oh my god. Elbow does less than 90 degrees and it's almost fused. Also, we got a really, really deep line for the where the mold comes together there. That's kind of awful. Spin at the wrist. His hand is intact, unlike the previous one I got. Also, this guy is falling apart with ease today. The other arm hinges up and down. The shoulder pauldron here is loose enough and flexible enough that it does move with his arm. So, although his torso wants to pop off really easy. Of course, we got the articulation on the other arm. This is, of course, the claw shield. Which honestly would have been nice if they painted it. I think it's in a more shiny plastic than the first release, but we'll take a look at that in a moment. So the wave spins and falls off and drop. Leg goes up that far. He's got a dimple in his thigh there. Leg goes only back that far. But we can go way out. That's where the fun is, way out, way out. That's kind of annoying me now. Knee bends, about 90. Boot cut spins. Foot hinges. The Sword of Omens this time is actually sculpted in a semi-transparent gray plastic. Honestly, it does look pretty nice. And, well, it is kind of wobbly, but not as bad, I think, as the first two I got, which I ended up heating up in order to straighten out. And his wrist, of course, he does have the up and down articulation on his one hand, and, well, there's not really any real articulation on this one because of the claw shield. His other hand, though, that you can replace it with, does have the in and out. Oh my god. day. Okay. So we did get a card with it. We did get a card with him, which is the same card design that we get with the deluxe figures instead of comics. And on the back, it just says the same crap that we've got on everything else. Nothing new or interesting. Masters of the Universe X ThunderCats, LionO, Lord of the ThunderCats, LionO, Lord of the ThunderCats, battles back the ancient forces of evil from 3rd Earth to 3rd Eternia, blah, blah, blah. We couldn't come up with anything more interesting to put on here. I mean, at least the artwork on the front looks really good, but that's all it's got going for it. Comparison-wise, as I was mentioning, I believe this is the toy coloring, but I never had, actually, the LionO toy from back in the day. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But his skin tone is definitely more normal human-esque here. His hair is a brighter red. The little doodads around his eyes are white instead of that kind of pale yellow color. And doesn't match the... Oh, let's go with the goatee area, I guess. So those are the differences between the Eternia versions of this LionO. Now let's go ahead and swap him over to the ThunderCat version. Oh yeah, your Lord of Omens can fit in the back here, by the way. Like so. Oh my god. Ow! That kind of hurt. Just as a quick reminder, the last time I tried to force a hand out of a toy, it broke. Now, we did take this all the way off on our previous LionO, so we're not going to do it today because, frankly, it's a pain in the ass. Oh my gosh. Oh. Well, at least the black on the symbol isn't coming off, but I don't know how well you can see that, but there were scratches in the symbol. So the coverage wasn't quite as good as the previous release. It's starting to feel like you need to heat up every figure before you start moving stuff around. That is not the way I would want to take those off, but there was no other choice. Oh god, I forgot to take the bracer off. Apparently that was put on while the paint was still drying over there. You know, this may just be a problem with my figure, with it popping off like that, but that is starting to get really annoying, and that'd be hard for me to recommend getting this for anybody. So here is LionO in his ThunderCat form from the new version. And here's our previous LionO. The belts are basically the same color, are they? No, I guess on the belt on the new version, The color match on it's supposed to be closer to what's on his clothing, where it's obviously darker on the previous release. They also, by the way, just to note here, they painted the thighs the same green, the same blue as this, in order to kind of like make it look a little bit more like it's not a Speedo. They did not do that here, so I wonder where his dick is hiding. But yeah, you can definitely see the color changes here between the two of these guys. So again, I believe the first release was more cartoon accurate, and the second release is supposed to be more toy accurate. So this is the way I would look at it. If you only picked up the first release of LionO and you want to display both versions of him, then this would be a good way to do it. Although I probably would go with a more natural skin tone as being the Eternian one, though I'm pretty much probably not going to display him like that. Although you could mix and match the armor. As I mentioned before, in this case it does look like the claw shield is a much more shiny metallic color than the original one, which is pretty dull colored. So that's actually not too bad. You might want to use that to upgrade your Eternian LionO. Or if you want, just swap out the armor on him. Thought about doing that, but honestly, that armor is such a pain in the ass to deal with. I didn't feel like it. Sorry, I'm lazy today. As far as buying this figure goes, like I said, if you only have one of the first release and you want to do the second one to display in the opposite form, it's probably worth it. And it does give a little more variety to your shelf. But if you did get two of the previous one, I don't think I would recommend this one at all. Unless you do want to just start swapping out body parts to make them your own custom version of this LionO. But why don't you guys let me know what you think of this figure in the comments below, and if you want to get him or not. I will admit I do kind of like the semi-transparent sword. It's just too bad they didn't put like glitter in it to make it sparkly also. And if you did enjoy this review, please feel free to the like button. And if you want to see more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.